In the real world, most confrontations are over in seconds, yet very few people ever prepare for them properly. What if there was a single method that could give you control, protect your space, and dramatically increase your chances of walking away safely? In this video, we explore a simple but powerful approach, one that can help you survive almost any street confrontation.
I'm always working on the premise that you try to avoid situations, you try to escape situations, you use verbal dissuasion, you try and loophole or you posture, you try and do anything you can to avoid a physical confrontation. As with all the tapes, you shouldn't be hitting anybody if you've got a choice to walk away. Always try and walk away. The physical side of it, we're working on the premise that you've got no other choice. If you're not switched on, nearly every situation will be an ambush attack. That is, you'll get punched in the head before you even know anything's going on.
As the world's leading self-defense expert Geoff Thompson explains, real self-defense is not about flashy techniques. It's about awareness, control, and survival. Before a single strike is thrown, real self-defense begins with what you notice, what you say, and how you manage distance. Because the rules of the street are very different from the rules of the ring.
Okay, so the enemy of today is not the enemy of yesterday. The enemy has changed. In my father's generation, it was match fighting. There was a lot of honour. And people would meet on the common, they would have a fight, they would sort out the problems, and that would be the end of it. The enemy of today is not like that. So lots of people are training for the wrong range. So we've got to train more for the 3-second fight, the deceptive fighter. Match fighting still has to be addressed, because if a fight goes beyond 3 seconds, we end up in a match fight anyway. And 9 times out of 10, it will end up on the floor.
The 3-second fighter. Many martial arts are highly technical and effective within controlled environments, but real-world violence doesn't follow rules. There's no warm-up, no referee, no agreed distance. Most confrontations begin at conversational range.
What we've got at the moment in a lot of the martial arts, with no disrespect intended, is we've got arts that are fighting, and they're kind of antiquated arts. They're people that are fighting samurais on horseback. Okay, the art part of it doesn't have to change. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that the training's got to change. But we're not fighting in the real world. We're not fighting from 3 or 4 feet away. We're fighting from 18 inches. The enemy of today wants to be in your face.
Attackers often rely on deception. They test your reactions, they talk, they hesitate, then they strike. Understanding this reality is crucial, because real self-defense happens in seconds, sometimes less. This is where the concept of the 3-second fighter becomes critical. You either recognize danger early, or you're already behind.
And this is response, not reaction. If somebody walks up and asks me what I'm looking at, then I'm going to respond and not react. Okay, so I'm just going to put my fence up. I'm going to try and control the situation. I'm going to try and cut my way out of it. I'm going to try and get away. But if I can't, then I'm going to use this fence to block the range. The first chance I get, I'm going to take him off the planet with my main artillery punch, or finger strike, or whatever it is.
Introducing the fence. Most confrontations don't start with violence. They build through body language, tone, and positioning. This is where awareness matters most. Centuries ago, Miyamoto Musashi described 3 intelligent ways to deal with conflict. First, act before the opponent has fully committed. Second, move at the same moment they attack. Third, allow them to commit fully, then use their momentum against them. The lesson is simple. Self-defense is not about strength. It's about timing, awareness, and decision-making. This is where the fence comes in.
So what are you trying to say? So no, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say then? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say then? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Okay, just as a conclusion, remember what I said. You've got to distinguish between match fighting, 3-second fighting, and ambush fighting. They're all different. You have to train for them differently. Your bread and butter, your biggest bedrock, is your fence and your main artillery, having 1 or 2 techniques that you know will work for you.
The fence is a natural, non-threatening position that protects your space while keeping your options open. It allows you to manage distance, assess intent, and react instantly if needed. You attempt verbal de-escalation first.
The reason I got flown out to America by Chuck Norris and Richard Norton was specifically to see the fence. And that was because Richard Norton spent 20 years bodyguarding and working indoors and working with real violence. And all they wanted to see was defence. Okay, so it's really important. And anybody that's been there will know it's important. But I'm overemphasising the point, but I don't want you to overlook this and think it's, there's nothing there. This is the control you need in a real situation. When a real situation starts, it's probably going to be from 18 inches. And that 18 inches will degenerate very quickly into in-your-face violence. Okay, it goes very quickly to vertical grappling, ground grappling. That's not where we want to be. Grappling is not where we want to be. If we do go down there, we deal with it, but we want to avoid it at all costs. Several people I know have been killed on the floor, had their heads kicked off or been stabbed when they've been grappling, and they're tearing the bloke a new arse, but it doesn't stop his mates kicking your head in, who suddenly appear from the bar or suddenly appear out of the hedge. Two of my friends got stabbed by women when they were fighting with men on the floor. So we don't really want to be down there unless we have to. So what I'm going to do with this fence is I'm going to control the gap between me and the person in front of me. Okay, to stop it degenerating to vertical.
You maintain space, and if the situation becomes unavoidable, you act decisively. You don't rush to violence, but if there is no escape, you strike first, strike hard, and end the threat. Verbal dissuasion. Before fists fly, your voice is your strongest weapon. Clear, confident communication can stop a situation before it turns physical. This is known as the verbal fence. Your tone, posture, and presence all send signals. You're not trying to intimidate. You're communicating awareness, confidence, and readiness. Often, that alone is enough to stop an aggressor, because most attackers are looking for easy targets, not resistance.
What's wrong with you?
The fence under pressure. In real encounters, distance disappears instantly. Someone just a few feet away can reach you faster than you expect. That's why the fence must work under pressure. Training methods like circle drills and line drills exist for one reason: to prepare you for chaos, surprise, and emotional stress. Because techniques that only work in calm environments fail when fear and speed take over. The fence is not about perfection, it's about functionality.
Yep. Stay where you are! Stay there! You fucking told me! Stay there! Fucking stay there! Stay there! Get fucking back or it's me and you! Move! Move! Get out of it! Stay back. Do you want to talk about it? Just stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are! Now! Stay there! Stay there or it's me and you! Right! Stay back!
Main artillery and support system. Effective self-defense is built on simplicity, not dozens of techniques, not complicated combinations, one or two reliable actions. Trained repeatedly under pressure, these form your primary defense. If those fail, a secondary system takes over, often grappling or control. But the priority never changes. Protect yourself, act decisively, end the threat. Bruce Lee believed mastery came not from learning more, but from refining less. One technique, practiced deeply.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Is worth more than 1,000 half-learned moves. That philosophy still defines what works in real-world self-defense today.
You want a really honest self-defense situation, you will not do any better than Western boxing. Judo has a backup system, but Western boxing, because it is offensive, it's weaned on the knockout, it'll cost you tuppence to train in, there'll be no cues there. People don't go to Western boxing because it is so brutally effective. They know that they're going to have to do quite a lot of burnt sacrifice to get the skills. But it's if I could only choose one physical art, it would be Western boxing. If I could choose two, it would be boxing and judo, or boxing and jiu-jitsu, or boxing and wrestling. But specifically judo, because judo is very good in the tachiwaza, the standard. Very good in the niwaza, which is the groundwork, but it's also got the missing link, which is the transition between the two.
Self-defense is not about aggression. It's about preparation, awareness, and decision-making. Understand the moments before violence begins. Control distance. Use your voice. And when there is no other option, Act without hesitation, because in the real world, hesitation costs time, and time is the one thing you don't have. What's your go-to self-defense principle? Let us know in the comments below.